So now we are going to look at creating custom AI content templates, or essentially creating your very own templates to generate content for your clients or locations, just like we're using here with GBP posts, but you'll be able to create them for any type of use case that you like. So if you go over to content types here, you'll be able to click this button, create new content type, and this is where you'll be able to kind of create this custom AI template that'll be used for your client to generate the content. So for this example, I had something I had previously put together for an example. If you wanted to generate social media posts that um, that incorporated reviews. So you got 5-star review on Google Plus or on Yelp, and so you wanted to take a snapshot of that review and highlight it, talk about it in a post, and then post a picture of it with that information to your social media channels and promote it. Something we do in some SEO campaigns and so on. So what you would want to do is you'd come over here and first you want to put your content type name. So we will call this mm, review social media post. And then we can choose our model. So GPT-4 is going to be the highest quality as far as the output and the understanding. 3.5 turbo is much quicker, much cheaper. But it's still extremely cheap for the amount of content you'll be generating. So I normally recommend GPT-4 unless it's something very basic and you're not really looking for a really well-written output. So we're going to go ahead and select GPT-4. So now we have our content variables. These are the variables that are saved in the business profile, the location essentially, and it's the description of the business, the name, city, state, and industry. And these can be used in the template. So when you essentially generate your content, it's going to dynamically put this information into the prompts, and so you can generate the type of content that you want. So the way we have this is you'll have system, user, and agent. System is the initial kind of defining what the AI bot is set up for. So this is kind of your direction for the AI, you can call it. So here I'm going to put your social media manager for various companies. Your task is to craft engaging Facebook posts that highlight positive customer reviews about a company's services while incorporating details from the review without directly quoting it in its entirety. So we don't want it to just copy the review and say thanks for the review, right? So now we have the next message, which we're going to put user. And what we essentially want to do in these next boxes, so for user and assistant, we want to put essentially an example input and then the example output. And so we do this because this is going to allow us to essentially kind of train the output a little bit more when we submit for the content. And so, for example, if you were the reason you want to do this, if you say tell the AI to write 300 words of content or 500 words of content, it will understand that much more if you were to show it in the saying, write me a few paragraphs about XYZ topic, and have it 500 words long. And then you gave it the example of the output that was 500 words long, and you can give it multiple examples like this within one prompt, and it'll allow you to get much better outputs with, say like word counts or properly wording things in certain ways or not using, certain terms and things like that. So definitely something to play around with. But in this example, we said the user input create a Facebook post for a roofing company, Peak Roofing Solutions, described as a leaking roofing specialist and location. So we essentially have the description of the company. and we got a review about roof replacement, and this is the review that was supplied. Now, the example output we can then go ahead and put here. So I have just the celebrating our customers. We're thrilled to hear that our roof replacement service left such a positive impression. And so we have this example of this blog post that we would want it to generate for this review, right? And now if you go ahead and click add section, it'll add another section down here. And if we wanted to, we can do another user and another assistant. So if we wanted to make another example and say change the name here to a different company and change the information and put that here and then put another example so it gets a better idea of the exact output, right? So say we didn't want it to have hashtags. I know sometimes the AI will use hashtags, sometimes it won't. But if you say, put hashtags or specific hashtags in here in each example, then it'll it'll create hashtags when you are submitting for the content. So let's go ahead and just make our final user prompt. So this last user prompt is essentially going to be what's submitted with your dynamic information and custom variables. So right here I have a user prompt created, and right here we have, can you create a Facebook post for my roofing for my company? There we go. And then we have name. So this is going to be the name of the company, business name. That's going to be taken directly from your location. Described as, and then I put the company description in quotes. That's the description taken directly from your location information. And now I have some dynamic values in here. So if you wanted something like just a general Google My Business post about the industry, you can go ahead and just say, we can just say like industry right here and say something like, write a Facebook post for my company about my industry. And then just put the short code in there and not put this, okay? But I wanted to write about the review, and so we want to give it the service that we are using, or the service that was reviewed, and we want to give it the content, the review, the exact review, so it has context of what the client said about the service when crafting this post. So to do that, to create any one of these short codes, you essentially just put it in these brackets. And so if I wanted to create a new short code here, you put the two brackets like this. I could put new underscore short code. You don't have to put the underscore. You could put, new short code like that. You can just put new, but then you want to put a colon. And if you want just a line field, you put single and then close the brackets. Or you'll see as the other one there, you put list and then close the brackets if you want a box, right? So you can put like a whole paragraph, and that's where we're gonna put our full review. So once this is all filled out and done, we go ahead and click submit. Oh, and we can actually come back up here. There are some advanced settings. Um, you can change the max tokens. I think this goes up to 400 on the API or 4,000 on the API side. This will allow you to get longer outputs. Persistence penalty, frequency penalty. These essentially just make it more unique, less repetitive, things like that. Temperature makes it more creative. So you can play around with some of these advanced settings if you'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and submit this and save it. And now if we go over to our location, go over to Mr. Plumber, and we can go to our content templates custom at here, down here. And if I click show, you'll see we have our review social media post. Okay, and if I click use, it'll pop out on the side here. And then here's our dynamic or our variables that we need to put in. So for the plumbing services, I'll just put, say, uh, hot water heater installation. And then let's pretend like we just copied this review from Google and it was just a client that posted 5 star, had an emergency water heater issue, was solved quickly, um, and very professional. There we go. So we put our review in here. We put the service that was reviewed there. We go ahead and click generate. And now it's going to use our custom template to generate the content. We'll just wait 1 minute here for the content to be generated and take a look at our post. And there it is. Pipe prodigies at work. We're positively beaming over here at Mr. Plumber. Nothing speaks louder than the trust of our local community, especially when emergencies strike. So there we go. Has our quick review, has some of our information. Remember in our description, we put that we were in business for 20 years. If we wanted to go back to the template and tell it to include our phone number, make sure that it had a call to action, all that fun stuff, you can go in there, go back to the content types. You'll see it right over here. You can delete them, but if you want to just edit it, click on this little pencil on on this icon here, and then we can come on over and edit this up and say something like, if I wanted to say include phone number and then call to action, and then I'll just come down to the example, all your roofing needs, and then we'll just put the phone number, and then what we'll do is copy this and just add it down here in our template, but we want to replace the phone number with our, oh, we don't have a phone number shortcode. Okay, well, we'll probably get phone number shortcode added. I guess we'll cut that out. All right, that's it. We're done with this one.